Bookies Baseball is on the air. We're here, Brian Turpak, along with manager Mark Crane. Bookies coming off an impressive 4-game winning streak. Last week off a very impressive 18-10 outing. We'll be back after this message with tonight's action. Tom Sawyer Park. Coach Crane, tell us about last week's game. What do you think was the key to the ballgame?
Well, Brian, last week I think was the week when our team finally showed its true colors. We got some offensive production out of our ball club. We played pretty good defense, and we just really had a good week all the way around. 18-10 was the score, and I think we're going to carry that momentum on into this week, the final week of the season.
And how about that Flynn family? Mike coming off the bench in the 6th inning to crack a home run, a beautiful play in left field by Luann.
I think the key there, Brian, that play in left field by Luann was definitely the game-saving play. Not to discount Mike's home run, but that Luann and Mike combination, it's tough to do that here in the state.
Now, going into last week's action, the team had been a little bit complacent on offense. But last week it came out 18 runs. What was the difference?
Well, I wish I knew the difference. I mean, it seems like it's been feast or famine for our offense all year. We've either been getting, double figures easily, like we did last week with 18 runs, or we've gotten like 2 or 3 runs. And I just think it's a sign of immaturity a little bit with this team. We've got a lot of talent on the club, but this is only our 2nd year in the league, and I think that our record 6-4 right now stands pretty good considering where we were this time last year and what we've done in the past year.
Word I'd like to interject here. I know Coach Crane here, in all modesty, wouldn't like to say this, but most respectable job has been done in managing this year. Last year, Coach Grant Brett did a fine job, but he was promoted to the front office this year by team owner George Steinbrenner Cobb, and I think he's done a wonderful job.
Well, Brian, I appreciate those comments. I think the only reason we're saying that's because I've played you all year.
Hey, time. Either you get the lineup now or it's over.
Lineup. Manager Mark Crane.
Thank you, Brian. All right, here's the lineup. Jay, shortstop. Luann, short field. Grand, right field. Elaine, left field. Mike, center field. Jill, third base. Brian, pitching. Julie, designated hitter.
Wait, I'm not here.
Alan, designated hitter. She's here. Patty, catching. Steve, first base. Kathleen, second base. All right.
Jill here? Jill's not here, so I should be Jill.
Okay,
Let's go, Booker!
yeah, Julie, you play third base.
Okay, so I'm not going to be myself. All right, Jill! I'm going to be myself, so I should be designated hitter.
Let's go, Bookers! All right!
You play third base. You're gonna bat in the order that you're on here. Just ignore the position.
Let me in.
Okay?
Let me in.
You're gonna play third base.
Let me in. Let us get in. Let me in.
And let's see.
Use the door.
Section brought to you by the Cobb Group. Authors of such fine books as
The Laser Test Companion, Quattro Companion, and The Expert.
Mr. Fine by Rick and Bard, Louisville's ultimate night spot. Oh, good try.
Doesn't hurt now.
Let's play some D. Let's play some D. Hey, Lane.
Well, now that was something.
Run this way, Lane.
Keep going. Really? You should get her back to you.
That's it.
What are you doing? A pyramid. Hey, who's the cheerleader? Put Alex on top. He's the lightest. You want to get up there, Alex? Hurry up, Alex. Jay, put Alex on top. He's hand-based. Okay, it's time to get down.
Down now.
Oh, no. Wow, look at your face.
Look at this. That's a window. There's the flag outside. Yes, sir. A little touch of the outdoors, and now we're back into customer service again. Okay. Where to next? What's this going to be? This is a conference room kind of thing? Doggone. Let's see. Oh, there's two. I'll read. The computer room. Jeff's back door. Oh, the receptacle. All right, now we go into the offices of the honchos. There's the radio. Cell phone doesn't work anymore. Who's in this one, Barbara or Tom?
I'm not sure.
Don't know? Okay. Doug's in that one. Great scaffolding. Come to the writer's room. This is what we're writing our next manual on, how to assemble an office.
What about people who have Windows 2, though?
When he was 25 years old, Atherton High School graduate Douglas Cobb co-wrote the best-selling computer book of all time. Now 30, Cobb has parlayed that success into a thriving publishing company.
We support people who use personal computers and software. We do that by publishing books and periodicals, we call them users' journals, about specific software programs.
Cobb could easily have set up shop in California, where more than a third of his customers live. Instead, he decided to come home to this office building on Hurstbourne Lane. Running this high-tech business in Louisville is a double-edged sword.
We're not exactly in the center of things in terms of being able to get in the car and drive to some of the companies we work with. On the other hand, nobody here is really interested in the secrets we have, so we don't have to be, people trust us because we're not in an environment where people are going to try to be stealing information about some of the stuff we know.
There are a number of different printers you may have installed now, and the PC Excel...
Obviously, it's working. Sales doubled last year, and the workforce of researchers, writers, editors, and artists has grown from 10 to 40 in 3 years. The company has 5 more jobs open right now, and Cobb says there's plenty of room for a lot more growth.
These are periods where we would actually drop direct mail.
33-year-old Doug Cobb, an Atherton High School graduate, sits at the helm of a business that pulled in $10 million last year and expects to double that this year.
Actually, when we started, we did more things than we do now. We used to publish books and do training seminars and other things, and we have focused across time on just this newsletter business. And I think that's one of the secrets to the reason we've been so successful is focus.
This is the bread and butter of the Cobb Group, computer newsletters. They line the entrance hall to this eastern Jefferson County business, recently named one of Inc. magazine's 500 fastest-growing businesses in the country. Close to 30 different journals are offered to customers across the U.S. The orders come in here and are processed in a separate area. The difference here, according to the notes written on bills by customers, is that the company has turned intimidating computers into easy-to-understand machines. The Cobb Group is quickly becoming a well-known name here in the business district, but don't expect to see their newsletters in bookstores. It's strictly a mail-order business, and analysts say that makes Doug Cobb's success even more amazing. Jim Reeves is a small business consultant who specialized in developing businesses under the Martha Lane Collins administration.
And when you're focused, that means that you have to go to a wider area to get enough of those same kinds of customers. So by definition, you really have to go to a wider area if you're narrowly focused. And that, I mean, which came first, the chicken or the egg, I'm not sure. But typically those that are focused tend to have to go to a wider area. And I think what you'll find is the companies that are doing well here tend to have a fairly strong, if not a dominant position regionally, sometimes nationally.
The Cobb Group is now 7 years old. Doug Cobb has just sold off his book publishing division, the one attempt to diversify.
I got my start in book publishing, and it's kind of one of the ways that our company has always been identified. When people think about us, they think about us in book publishing. Right. And so to kind of get rid of something that is your identity is a difficult thing to do, but it was the right thing to do from a business point of view.
Cobb says very little of his business comes from Louisville or Kentucky. The monthly journals, however, have become so popular, a New York fan who had a personalized license plate named after a newsletter presented it to him.
Can you excuse me, please, when I put my resume together? Excuse me?
Resume?
Can you excuse me, please? I'm trying to, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Aren't you going to Rochester?
I'm thinking about working down at the car wash. You know, you could probably make about, with tips and everything, great gig, you know? What do you think about that?
Sounds good. You got one picked out?
There's one down on, like, Hancock, between Hancock and Jackson Street. Broadway, they look like they do pretty brisk business.
Are they running Windows 95 or NT?
Well, get out of here, freak!
So it'll be a new piece of artwork. I'll give you one of this.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm being videotaped. By Dre. Is that the camera you got for Christmas? Or?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I bought it at a pawn shop for $150.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. What's up?
So you going to Rochester?
Oh, hell no.
No?
Wasn't invited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do you have any plans?
Yeah. Going to probably work for the Padre.
Who's that?
My dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Have you done that before? You get along pretty good?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've worked for him. Now, what's this video for?
Just for me. What do you do here at the Cobb Group, Ryan?
Sit in this chair.
And what will you be doing for your father?
Sitting in his chair and
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to call me back.
playing on his computer.
Yeah.
What you are about to see is a docudrama recounting this company's search for one of its most elusive employees, the man some call Mr. Pacific Standard Time, Clyde Lee Zellers. Our search started out quite innocently. The March issue of Inside Quattro Pro needed a second edit, and quite frankly, Clyde was the man for the job. Now, we knew he'd resist, but we had no idea how elusive he could be. Frustrated by numerous dead ends, we soon found ourselves haunted by several unanswered questions. Questions such as, does he have something against Quattro Pro? Does he still work here? Are the stories we hear true? And most importantly, what's with the ponytail? Well, the following story is true, but some of the names have been changed to protect the disinterested. Run around, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, run, run, I get around, I get around. Down the same old street, I gotta find a new place where the kids are hip. My buddies and me, you're getting real well known. Yeah, the bad time goes and they leave us alone. I get around, round, 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 I get around, get around, round, round, I get around. All right, well, let's see if we can find the man. I mean, he's got to be right here somewhere. Let's look down here first. Gosh, I don't see him in there anywhere. Clyde? No. Well, he's not back there where he usually hangs out. Sitting fun somewhere else here. Maybe he's, well, let's go back over this way some. Let's go over this way. Right here. Let's see. Well, there's a meeting back here. Maybe he's back in here. Hey, sorry to interrupt you guys. Has anybody seen Clyde? Who? You know, Clyde, kind of a tall guy, ponytail. You know, we kind of drinks a little big red. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, well, he was here earlier, but he forgot his keys.
Oh, those his keys, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
you might need him to get his
okay, well, Clyde's always leaving stuff around like this, so. Okay, well, thanks a lot. Sorry to interrupt everything. Sorry.
Sure.
Let's check somewhere else. Now let's keep looking, see what we can find out over here. Let's check and see if Kim's in. Kim? You seen Clyde recently?
No, I haven't seen him.
Well, we've lost him. Would you mind if we just ask some of your people if they've seen him over here?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let's go check and see if Land County has seen Clyde over here. Sure, don't see him over here anywhere. Maybe he's Hey, Kelly, you seen Clyde anywhere?
Yeah, he just goes down that way.
This way? Oh, okay, good. Well, let's keep going this way. Maybe he's there. What? Sure, don't see him anywhere. You must see Clyde.
Yeah, I just saw him. He left his shoes here, though. I don't know where he went, but that's all I have.
Boy.
They're kind of smelly, but other than that,
Yeah, well, just like Clyde leaving shoes on there.
well, you can have them.
Well, let's keep looking for him. Let's go look in the honcho's area. Maybe he's over there. Come on, let's go. Sure, we see him right here anywhere. Well, Doug's office is closed, but God, I feel like we need to just barge on in. What the heck? Let's go. There's a real hot meeting going on here. Hey guys. I'm looking for Clyde. Have you guys seen him around anywhere? Clyde Zellers? Yeah, you know, big tall guy and wears a ponytail.
Oh.
He works in our editorial. Yeah, he's an editor here at the
Well, I
Cobb
saw him
Group.
last night. I thought you saw him last night. You spanked your shot. He put it in the bleachers there at ball last night.
Oh.
Yeah, Tim was telling me about that. That was an awesome flop.
And then he's not here. let's just, thanks a lot, guys.
He did leave his sweats from basketball, so if you see him, could you,
I left
you left these at the gym last night.
You left this here, huh? Oh, okay. Well, thanks a lot. All right. Hey, well, he wasn't there either. Well, so far our search for Clyde has been unfruitful, but we have a clever idea. We're going to bait a trap for Clyde and try to use some bait to perhaps bring his presence to us. As you can see, the bait we're going to use is the very reliable Clyde bait, the nice big bag of Cheetos corn chips, and a nice tasty 2-liter bottle of Big Red. We're just going to leave this right here in the cafeteria and go about our way, and then perhaps Clyde will take the bait and we'll find him later on.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm coming. Yeah? Oh, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Elmo.
Hi, Elmo. Have you seen Clyde around here?
Clyde? Yeah, Clyde and I, we're like that, man. Well, we're kind of like that. He's like my idol, man. I'm waiting for Clyde. He's my man.
Okay. Well, are you sure you seen Clyde?
Yeah, you know, I seen him. You know why? He left me this big red shirt, man. I'm going to give this to Clyde. He said he would come back in about 5 days.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll check back with you then when he may show up again. We'll be back in a few days.
You want me to tell him anything for you?
No, that's fine. You just take care of yourself there, and
He's my man, you know.
That's right.
We're like that.
Okay, well,
I've got his shirt.
Yeah.
You say, man, do you want the shirt?
No, that's fine. You keep the shirt. We'll see you later. Bye, Elmo.
Bye.
Well, our search inside so far has proven unfruitful. So we've come outside the Cobb Group here and look around the grounds and see if we can perhaps find Clyde wandering around out here somewhere. Let's take a look inside his van and see if perhaps we can find Clyde hanging out in here. Well, doesn't seem to be around here anywhere. Well, so far we've been unlucky. I wonder if there's anywhere else outside where Clyde might be hanging out. And perhaps we could peruse the grounds here some and maybe see if we could see him hanging out either outside the building or perhaps in the cars. And what's that sound, Dwayne?
I don't know. It's off.
Okay, just this way here. We're going to make our way up to the roof there and see if we can get Lou's attention and get him to tell us what the deal is with Clyde. You know, a lot of people that are watching at home may not realize that this access to the roof is available here at the Cobb Group. So this will be kind of a fun experience for you as we journey our way up to the roof. But, you know, one day I don't think it'll be that far off that the Cobb Group will have all of this part of the floor right here. Let's just hope that Clyde still works at the company when that day arrives. Huh? Okay. We are at the stairway here, and notice there's a few cigarette butts on the floor there from where Tom's been smoking back here. Okay, let's get a shot of those cigarette butts there now and make sure everybody gets a chance to see that. Okay, Tom, I know you're in Seattle, but we miss you nonetheless. Okay, let's go up and see if we can get Lou. There he is. All right, let's go ask Lou if he's seen Clyde. Whoa! Yep, there's Lou over there. Playing the pipes. Let's go see if he's seen Clyde. That's lovely music he's playing there, isn't it? Whoa! Sorry, Mark, you startled me. Well, no, I guess you couldn't hear us over all that noise. I mean, music here. Thanks, Mark. Look, we lost Clyde. I thought maybe it's you being up here and seeing him walking around the ground somewhere. Have you seen any sign of him?
No, I haven't seen anyone out in the parking lot. You'd have to be a fool to be outside on a day like today.
Well, then again, we are looking for Clyde now, you know.
Yeah, I haven't seen him up here. I don't know if you've checked on the other side of the air conditioning vents or not. But...
Well, no, we just kind of wandered around the parking lot. Well, thanks for your help.
You know, I did see a strange coat up here, though. I don't know whether it's Clyde's coat or not.
Oh, where? Laying around somewhere?
It was over there someplace.
Oh, there it is over there. Right there in that big water puddle there. Okay, well, Clyde, he tends to lose things like that from time to time, so here, we'll pick this up and we'll be on our way. Lou, thanks a lot, man. You can go back to playing your piece there again. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, did you get a shot of the coat here? Okay, well, the search continues. Let's have at it. Well, we couldn't find him outside anywhere. Let's take a look around a little bit more inside and see what we can find in here. Well, we know he's here somewhere. Well, the search goes on. Let's stop in production and see if they've seen Clyde recently. Hey, have you guys seen Clyde anywhere?
Who?
You know, Clyde is a real tall guy with a ponytail, kind of goofy looking, you know. No sign of him anywhere? Okay, well, all right. All right, well, let's keep looking. Come on over this way. See, hey, you
seen Clyde around, have you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, go over there. Let's stop, see if perhaps you haven't seen him here.
Something must be going on.
Hey, Jim. Hey, what's going on, man? Got some bad news. We seem to have lost Clyde. Clyde, he's kind of a tall guy, big ponytail in the back, and kind of goofy looking, you know.
Oh, yeah, Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde. You haven't seen him come through here, have you?
Yeah, he was here. He was just here, and he left this.
Oh. All right.
So if you see him, give him that.
Left his ponytail here, right? Okay, let's check in and see if Mark Kimball has seen, oh, but you know what? Those of you that know Mark know that he is, in fact, one of the busiest officers at the Cobb Group, and gosh, I just hate to interrupt him today. I know he's awfully busy, but what the heck? This is a pretty important project. Let's just barge in on Mark and interrupt his busy work, shall we? Hey, Mark. Mark?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
Quite well, thanks. Look, I know you're really busy.
I was just reading this article I just did.
Oh, okay. That's good. Look, we're looking for Clyde. We seem to have had, we've lost him, and I was wondering if you've seen him recently.
Yeah, he's been here all right.
Oh.
He just brought me back this article that I asked him to review for me.
Oh, well, when he dropped that off, did he seem like his normal self? Was he acting normal?
Oh, he's his normal self, all right. He slammed me.
Yeah, that's Clyde's green ink, all right. Well, look, we just thought we'd stop in. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we just thought we'd check in with you real quick. So we'll be on our way now.
Well, he just left a few minutes ago. In fact, if you catch him, you can tell him that he left his socks here.
Oh, these socks right here. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. As you can see, our search for Clyde Zellers has been unfruitful. We have not been able to find the man, only these assorted artifacts that have been left behind by his presence. But the good news is that our publicized search for Clyde has led to some other things in the industry, and that is a lot of tabloids have begun to publish headlines that all ask in their own way, where is this man that some people call Mr. Pacific Standard Time? Let's take a look at a couple of these headlines. First, from the Weekly World News, the headline reads, Clyde Zellers, elusive as Bigfoot? And then notice in the artist's rendition, there is a gross similarity between Clyde and Bigfoot. This one up here is Clyde. Another shot here from the Weekly World News points out that Clyde was sighted with Elvis. And as you can clearly see in the photograph here, here's Elvis, and just over his shoulder in the background is Clyde's head and arm waving wildly. So it appears as if Clyde is okay. We just can't seem to locate his presence, and perhaps we never will. Well, unfortunately, this concludes our documentary. We appreciate you watching our show. And for Mark Crane and all the Cobb Group, thanks for watching and have a good day.
We've got two statements, two in this eulogy.
That one's going to get hit. Not.
The first one's going to be delivered by Brother Steve, who was to SUJ Wells.
Hey, brother.
Brother Steve. Short remarks.
The Symphony Users Journal, or SUJ as it was known to its friends, was born on October 1st, 1984. Weighing only 1.5 ounces and a mere 11 inches long, it was a small child. However, it was destined for greatness as the foundation of an entire publishing empire. The SUJ's childhood years were difficult times. A perpetually late child, the SUJ wasn't ready to be mailed until the end of the month printed on its cover. SUJ's early years were trying time for his parents in other ways as well. They struggled to print mailing labels from the D-Base database, paste strips of photoset type by hand, stuff issues into envelopes, lug hundreds of copies to the post office in mail bags, and drop them one at a time through the slot of a mailbox. As time passed, life became easier. As it matured, the SUJ became known for its practical, insightful, and popular articles. Such as? Including Rounding to the Nearest Nickel. Rounding to the Nearest Nickel Revisited. And my personal favorite, Rounding to the Nearest Nickel Revisited Again. Without the SUJ, thousands of symphony users wouldn't know whether to buy or lease their automobile. How to use a dynamic macro to calculate exponential growth rates. The SUJ also pioneered the use of innovative fillers such as, do you know when you will expire? and simply, do you have a question? Without any explanation of what you should do if you did. The Symphony User Journal also was popular among its siblings to the extent that they emulated its nickname. For example, the 123 User Journal became known as the 123 UJ. The Paradox User Journal became known as the PUJ. And for some reason I'll never understand, Excellence became known as the EUJ. As the SUJ entered its twilight years, its mind began to fade. It began to relive its youth by reprinting articles first published in earlier years. It actually believed Lotus when they said they were going to continue to support Symphony. Shortly before its death, it was heard babbling, Windows is a fad. Integrated software is the wave of the future. On a more serious note, we all owe a debt of gratitude to the SUJ. Without it, the Cobb Group wouldn't have made it through the first year, so we wouldn't be here today. The SUJ taught us how and how not to write, produce, and market journals. Many Cobb Groupers, including Doug, Gina, Tom, Julie Turpak, Maureen, and me, knew and loved the SUJ for most of its remarkable life, and I'm sure that everyone here has been touched by the SUJ in some special way. In closing, let me read a quote from Texas Senator Lloyd Benston, who unbeknownst to many was an avid reader of the Symphony User's Journal. I knew the Symphony User's Journal. The Symphony User's Journal was a friend of mine. And believe me, there will never be another Symphony User's Journal. Thank you, and may the SUJ rest in peace.
Now, money.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the words of...
Isn't this revolting, man? Things I will do to raise money. Let's do the suggestions. We'll save the entertainment for last.
That's the best I can do. I'll agree to it.
All right.
Beat you telling me you're going first.
I don't have a coin, so yeah. I'll be amazed if you have one.
It's a pity. I'll be amazed if he turns it loose long.
I'll call it. I'll call it. And if I get it, I get to choose, right?
Yeah.
Heads.
It's heads.
Come here, Kimball. Now, does everybody know what this is from the auction? When we, what did we do? We Kimball and a bunch of Kimball and a bunch of his former co-workers agreed to pay a lot of money to get me to read something complimentary about U of L basketball.
Very
UK and U of L, and then Mark agreed to read something complimentary about UK, and the only issue was, of course, that he got to write the U of L one and I got to write the UK one. So, Mark, enjoy yourself. Thank you. Also, now you have to read. I think the rules are you have to read the whole thing, right? And if you get, you start over.
Yes, those are. And we have not seen these before now, so if I can't read Doug's handwriting, bear with me. Kelly, forgive me. Okay. I used to be a UK fan, but now I love the U of L fighting cards. I first knew that I was destined to be a U of L fan in 1983 when the NCAA forced those
Of course, those cowards at UK to end years of dodging their cross-state superior and play U of L. The game was a close one for 40 minutes. Of course, in the overtime, Lancaster Gordon, Milt Wagner, and company got serious and kicked the Wildcats' butts. That March afternoon, after I finished drying the tears from my cheeks, I knew that U of L was the team for me. There is more. Now, just because I'm a Louisville fan, that's not to say that there's nothing good about UK. For one thing, their ACT prep course must be awesome. It helped Eric Manuel double his ACT score with no visible effort. And what other school is so charitable and so interested in promoting family values that it mails envelopes full of cash to the parents of deserving young men of limited means? All right. And just think how many great players have been at UK through the years. So many it's hard to count, especially hard for most UK players. And just look at what UK graduates. Former players, what UK graduates, former players achieve in life. Just think of the former UK greats who are now serving in some of the state's finest institutions. Heck, you can field a pretty good team just from the former UK players who have been convicted of felonies. And where else but Lexington could a short, dumpy kid from Clay County become a sex symbol? And what a tradition. Name another school that could field a team good enough to win a national championship with a coach like Joe B. Hall. Of course, it's a good thing Kentucky has a lot of basketball tradition because they haven't made it to the Final Four, much less win a championship in the modern era. Actually, UK did make it to the Final Four in 1984 and delivered a memorable performance. 4 points in the entire second half, 1 for the half shooting in the semifinal matchup with Georgetown. Speaking of coaches, UK has had some great ones in recent years. Eddie Sutton brought his little-known special water bottle to the UK bench and assembled the best team money could buy. And Eddie sure was a great judge of talent. His idea of a great point guard was a slow, short, white guy named Sean. It's not that Sean Sutton was bad, it's just that most of his contributions were made off the court, like that gold chain he contributed to Sean Kemp, and the answers he contributed to Eric Manuel. Now, UK fans have Rick Pitino to cheer. Who else could have designed a defense that gave Christian Leitner an unobstructed 15-footer with seconds to go in an NCAA tournament game? Do you think Pitino's giving defensive advice to Bill Curry? And what a recruiter. Who but Pitino would think to send Clifford Rozier to a party at U of L while on his campus visit to UK? True stroke of genius. Of course, the UK basketball program has had its share of problems through the years. Just a few years back, the university hired that troublemaking president, David Rozelle, who insisted that everybody tell the truth to NCAA investigators. But now everything's okay because the folks in Lexington ran that traitor out of town. Finally, what about those UK fans? I shudder to think that I was once part of a gang of tobacco-chewing, moonshine-drinking, cousin Marion, thank you, Steve, hair-teasing, Richie-loving, big blueing, cardinal booing, 5th grade level reading hillbilly. Of course, they're a loyal bunch, which is remarkable when you consider that less than 1 in 100 Kentucky fans ever attended a class at UK, or any other university for that matter. I personally know a lot of UK fans who would gladly sign a statement of loyalty to UK if only someone would teach them how to write their name. So, it's no wonder that I love Louisville. Quit mouthing the words. I know who wrote it. Louisville has the finest tradition in the history of basketball, the best coach, the best players, the greatest fans, the finest facility, the best mascot, and the prettiest cheerleaders. U of L has the best basketball team in Kentucky and in the country, and I'm proud to say that I'm a tried and true Cardinal fan. Thank you so much, Doug. Well, I have a feeling you're about to thank me in a major way here. Well delivered. I mean, hardly a gag in the whole thing.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second. Thank you very much. Coming out of the closet. Now that the flash in the pan success of the 1980s is over for the University of Louisville basketball program, I'm going to indulge myself in a lifelong fantasy by becoming a University of Kentucky basketball fan. Here's why. Kentucky has always had the greatest basketball program in the country, and it always will. No matter what marginal success Louisville has lucked into in the past, it's always been in Big Brother, Big Blue shadow. In an effort to get some of Kentucky's fame to rub off on us, we whined for years begging Big Brother to play with us. Boy, was that a mistake. For the good of the state's reputation, Kentucky threw us a meaningless game or two early on in the series. But it now looks like Louisville will never win another one. I don't know which game was secretly my favorite. The 35-point record spanking they gave us in Freedom Hall when skinny freshman Rex Chapman dominated superstar Purvis Ellison. You forgot to add there when Rob Locke got up far enough off the floor to dunk something I thought he could never do. Or the last-second heartbreaker in Rupp Arena when Cedric Jenkins scored the only basket of his career in a tip-in at the buzzer to win by a point. Kentucky was #1 in the country at the time, and they certainly deserved their ranking, especially after winning a game like that one, like that one that was officiated so heavily in Louisville's favor. Louisville has always tried to claim it's in Kentucky's class, but nobody ever bought it. We simply can't make a credible case for any kind of tradition when we've never, ever been voted #1 by our peers. Worse yet, we can't even get the fans to come to the games unless we play somebody famous like Kentucky. Then all the season ticket holders like me can't resist wearing blue out of respect and admiration for Kentucky. If Louisville plays another mediocre team, like another team from our woeful Metro Conference, or one of those, what you call, academic schools, nobody comes. In fact, they had to black out the TV coverage of the Metro tournament last year in Louisville because no one showed up to watch. Louisville needs to try to bolster attendance by either attaching basketball tickets to bread bags in the grocery store, like they used to, or by asking Rick Pitino if he would please hold a short Kentucky practice in Freedom Hall before Not surprisingly, Kentucky does hold the attendance record for Freedom Hall, but not against Louisville. One thing that might help attendance is that Jefferson County schools are now requiring history students to attend one Louisville home game, since Louisville's high-low post offense is a living tribute to the way basketball used to be played in the old days. Part of Louisville's problem might be recruiting. Not until after Kentucky takes what they want from the local talent pool, like Winston Bennett, does Louisville get to rummage through the leftovers. Even then, they must compete with other tough competition like Eastern Kentucky, Moorhead, and Bellarmine. Coach Crumb's last-minute date with Mrs. Morton seemed to do the trick once, but she's already warned the rest of the moms that he never called back after Dwayne's Besides, it's not much fun to see the other schools unveiling their new talented freshmen each year when we have nothing to look forward to except another rotation of Prop 48 casualties and reinstatements. In Louisville's defense, though, it should be noted that it's not easy to amass a group of 13 high school grads while staying under the Brookshire IQ cap of 40 total points. Oh, man. Oh, that is so bad. After the pasting George Bush... How did you manage to get George Bush in there? After the pasting George Bush took in the presidential election, I simply can't afford to be associated with another loser right now. So, let me usher in my new era of basketball loyalty with a resounding, you guys want to do it with me? Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! can't believe you got George Bush. As if that man doesn't have enough problems right now.
The following is a rebroadcast of a performance presented earlier.
Go Bill.
Although it would seem a blatant career move for a product manager to marry Microsoft mogul Bill Gates, in fact, Bill and Melinda became romantically acquainted in a setting far removed from the offices of Microsoft. And now your favorite game show, The Dating Game, in which three hopeful bachelors provide information about themselves to win a date with a lucky young lady. Here's your host, Wink Martindale.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of The Dating Game. We have a lot of fun in store today, so without further ado, let's say hello to today's contestants. Don?
Thank you, Chuck. Our first bachelor is a ski instructor from Vail, Colorado, who enjoys gourmet cooking, deep sea diving, and maintaining the largest privately held wild animal collection in America. Please say hello to Rob Ward. Bachelor number 2, a commodities broker from New York City, published his first 2 novels by the age of 25. He's also explored the Amazon River, dug fossils in Wyoming, and studied Tibetan foot massage. A warm welcome for Biff Larkin. Our third bachelor, a former Eagle Scout, runs his own computer software company. Meet Bill Gates. And tonight's lucky bachelorette, a marketing manager for a Seattle company. Let's welcome Melinda French.
Okay, well, I'll just say welcome to all of you bachelors. Good to have you on the show today, and welcome to you, Melinda. Now, you're familiar with the rules here. You've been in an isolation booth, and you have not seen or talked to any of the 3 gentlemen on our show today. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay, well, now, from here on out, you'll have a chance to answer all of these bachelors any questions you'd like, and at the end of the hour, you will have a chance then to choose one of these 3 lucky guys to accompany you on a date, all expenses paid by our show.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, well, if you're ready, let's not wait any longer. Let's play The Dating Game.
Okay. First question. Bachelor number 1. What would be your idea of an exciting date?
Well, Melinda, we'd start with a nice candlelit romantic dinner for 2. I know this great little inn in the hills. I discovered it while out on one of my monthly walks with underprivileged children. Afterwards, we'd drive down the back roads to my beach house for a late night swim.
Wow, that sounds romantic. Great. Number 2, same question.
Oh, no question about it. Unlike other boring dates you've already heard about, I'd cook you dinner. In fact, you haven't lived till you've had my shrimp with angel hair pasta. Of course, I learned the recipe while helping to restore Michelangelo's ceiling in the Sistine Chapel. After dinner, we'd head down to the river and sip Irish coffee by the roaring fire, and I'd strum my 12-string mandolin.
Ooh, well, that sounds really good. How about you, number 3?
Well, Melinda, I think our date would go something like this. We'd start out by cruising by my mom's house for dinner. Of course, she'd have to approve of you and the clothes I had picked out for the evening. Assuming everything checked out okay with Mom, I'd call a press conference to introduce you to the media and to outline our recreational strategies for the evening. At that point, I think we would go back and I could give you a tour of my mansion, including the workout room with the Philly punching bag. And from there, I think we'd settle down for a nice, quiet evening of playing my favorite game.
And what's that?
Well, it's a game I really created myself. It's based on Galileo's classic experiment proving that all bodies are affected equally by gravity. Basically, we walk up to the top of the mansion, up on the roof, and you throw $1 million and $50 bills, and I throw a million and hundred, then we see which stock hits the ground first.
Great. Well, that sounds, very interesting. Now, my next question is for all of you. I work in the computer industry, and I'm wondering, if you were a hard drive and had to store your capacity to satisfy my every need, how large and what type would you be? Number one?
Oh, no doubt. 100 megabytes of hot swappable disk array.
Whoa, okay. How about you, number two?
Well, if we ran out of main storage, we could always revert to the old RAM drive.
Very interesting. Okay. Number three?
Well, Melinda, I trust that you're sophisticated enough to understand that a man's capacity to satisfy a woman isn't something to be measured in size alone. Basically, my hard disk of love comes equipped with a 32-bit hard drive controller and 14 millisecond access time. Meaning, not only can I provide you with the satisfaction you desire, but I can deliver it whenever and as often as you desire. Of course, if you want to talk about size, I think I'm talking about me being an 80 megabyte hard drive.
Oh, my.
Well, of course, I'm running DOS 6, and with its disk doubling capability, that means I'm talking about actually 160 megabytes of virtual satisfaction for you.
Well, okay. I like the sound of that. Well then, bachelor number three, if I were your software, what platform would you run me on?
Oh, well, Windows, of course, at least tonight. Windows NT for tomorrow morning.
I suspected as much. Number one, same question.
Well, Linda, I would spread you across all platforms.
How exciting. Oh, my. How about you, number two?
I'd have to say OS2 because, like Windows, I'm very user-friendly, but unlike Windows, I am multitasking.
Sounds like we're busy. Bachelor number one. How would you describe bachelor number three?
Well, have you ever seen Hulk Hogan?
Sure.
This guy is the Hulk Hogan of the nerds.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Bachelor number two. Same question.
Well, did you catch the NCAA championship game the other night?
Absolutely.
This guy reminds me of Michigan because at a very crucial moment, he would call way too many timeouts.
Well, that's too bad. Bachelor number three. How would you describe bachelor number one and bachelor number two?
Well, I would classify them both as pretty boy bully types. Much like the people who used to make fun of me at school, but who work for me now.
Bachelor number one. If we went back to your place after the date, how many different rooms could we snuggle in?
Does that include bathrooms and closets?
Sure, why not?
That would be 3.
3. Oh, okay. How about you, bachelor number two?
Well, that sort of depends on whether or not my parents are home.
Okay. Same question to you, number three.
Well, as best I could estimate, I would say 41 rooms in the main estate. That's not counting the guest house.
Sounds good.
Okay. Now, I'm afraid it's time for the final question here on today's episode of the Dating Game. After this question, Linda, excuse me. We record 3 shows a day, so I have to After this question, you'll have to choose between the 3 bachelors sitting behind you here. So, choose this last question. Go ahead.
Okay. This will be a tough week. But I do have one final question for all of you. What would you estimate your net worth to be? starting with bachelor number 1.
Oh, about a cool $500,000.
$1.6 million. Easy. 8 billion and counting.
Okay, that does it then, Melinda. Think about your choice carefully, and let me know, will it be bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, or bachelor number 3? Molly, which is it going to be?
Well, there's no question about it. Bachelor number 3.
And now you're going to get a chance to meet those bachelors you did not select, and also your new date for the next week. So come up here one at a time. First, let's have bachelor number 1, Rob Ward. Rob? And bachelor number 2, Biff Larkin. And now, Melinda, here comes your dream date, the one you selected. Bachelor number 3, Bill Gates.
Yes, for your prize, the two of you will be whisked to exotic and romantic Shively, Kentucky, where you'll stay at the luxurious Dixie Highway Holiday Inn and enjoy unlimited bowling at the Delmo Lanes.
Welcome to In Search of a Passion for Third Wave Megatrend Excellence. Each week on this program, we take a look at a company that has successfully applied trendy management concepts lifted from best-selling books on business. This week, we journey to the horse country of Louisville, Kentucky to visit the Cobb Group, a fast-growing publisher of newsletters. The Cobb Group built its sterling reputation publishing newsletters for users of computer software and is now expanding to publish newsletters on topics outside the computer industry. Company President Doug Cobb and Executive Vice President Tom Cottingham have cultivated a staff of dedicated managers who use innovative, cutting-edge techniques to keep the company's staff feeling energized, empowered, and self-actualized. We'll begin our examination of the Cobb Group's well-honed management machine by talking to Mark Kimball, one of the high-energy managing editors who oversee the company's editorial staff. Well, Mark, as a manager, I know that you have to spend a lot of energy making your people feel good about their jobs and the place that they work. So I'd like to begin by asking you, what is it that you enjoy most about your typical day at the Cobb Group?
It usually lasts about 5 hours, so you have time to unwind a little bit and relax.
Gosh, Mark, you must make very efficient use of your time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the management responsibilities you have to cram into each of those 5-hour days?
Well, the official line is that I manage a group of authors that produces journals and all of the trials and tribulations that go with that mission.
That's an impressive set of responsibilities, but I'm sure a sophisticated manager like you must be grooming someone on your staff to take over for you when you continue your climb up the Cobb Group ladder. Tell me, who do you think is going to be qualified to take your place?
No one at the Cobb Group qualifies.
You mean no one at the Cobb Group could replace you?
Certainly not.
Well, Mark, it sounds like you consider your role as managing editor to be at least as important as Doug Cobb's is as president.
That's probably fair.
Well, I think it's just great that everyone here is encouraged to think that their job is crucial to the success of the company. But seriously, Mark, tell me this. If no one can replace you, then who would be qualified to replace Doug Cobb as president if he ever leaves the Cobb Group?
Everyone at the Cobb Group qualifies.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you've got a little bit of ambition to continue your climb up the corporate ladder. Tell me, what's the toughest part about climbing the Cobb Group's corporate ladder?
Having chewing tobacco spit on my shirt every time I got up to the top of that ladder, that gets old.
Sounds like you've run into a little resistance during your climb up the corporate ladder. Tell me this, is there anyone above you at the Cobb Group whom you feel has done the most to stifle your career development?
Well, I hate to go with the easy answer, but Mark Crane has no peer, so I'll throw my vote in with Mark.
You sound a little bitter here, Mark. Tell me, is there anything in particular that this Crane person has done to you?
I don't agree with anything that he's ever said, and I just think that he's just an all-around jerk, and I would like to put him in his place and take a long time doing it.
Well, Mark, I must say I'm a little surprised by some of your comments so far. I didn't really expect such a combative, hard-edged, and cunning approach to management here at the Cobb Group. From whom did you learn this particular style of management?
Linda Boffman.
Mark's mentor, Linda Boffman, was the next person we talked to. As publications director, Linda is responsible for overseeing the staff of 50 writers, editors, and production artists who produce the Cobb Group's famous Computer Tips and Techniques journals. Linda, Mark Kimball mentioned you as one of the major influences on his management style. How would you characterize his general approach to managing his staff?
No thanks.
Come on.
No way. I decline to answer.
Well, being the progressive-minded director that you are, I can understand your reluctance to overanalyze the management style of one of your managing editors. So, instead, let's talk about your job. Exactly what does a publication director do?
I think I'll pass.
Well, can you at least tell us what did it take for someone like you to achieve such a high-level position at the Cobb Group?
I don't want to say it on videotape.
Okay. Well, I understand that the Cobb Group is really blazing some trails in the area of co-management. In fact, you yourself co-direct the journal editorial group with another person. Now, what's that person's name?
Jeff Yoke.
It must take two very self-actualized people to make a situation like this work. What do you feel is the biggest challenge inherent in this situation in which you and Jeff must share so much responsibility?
He's still a child, but he doesn't think so.
Thank you, Linda. No more questions. As a quickly growing company, the Cobb Group often must restructure to meet its new management needs. In the most recent reorganization, Douglas Cobb handed off publishing responsibilities for the computer software journals to two of his most trusted lieutenants, John Piles and Mark Crane. We talked to Mark Crane about his new responsibilities as co-publisher. Well, Mark, can you explain to me exactly how this co-publishing arrangement with you and John Piles works?
Well, technically I'm supposed to be working with John, who is co-publisher along with me, to manage all the activities for the computer publishing group. That means I should be involved in basically all aspects of the business. However, right now, we're kind of in transition, so I'm tending to focus more on the product marketing side of the business and on the editorial side of the business, while John tends to lean toward the places where he has proclivities.
Can you explain to me what proclivities means?
Just what I heard from John. I don't really know what it means.
You mentioned that your current role focuses on product marketing. Now, I understand that you made an unusual career move to get to the marketing department. You actually began working at the Cobb Group as an author, rose to become a prominent member of the editorial management staff, and then you switched to marketing. Tell me, exactly what made you want to leave the editorial department?
It was their pompous attitude.
They were pompous?
And I think it was very difficult to like them at that time.
Well, let's not dwell on the past. In your current status as your company's top marketing representative, You often have to spend extended periods of time on the road, visiting software companies and swinging big deals that are important to your company's success. Now, can you tell us, what do these frequent business trips typically involve for you?
You know, I like to go mountain climbing or parachuting or, you know, swim with dolphins or, you know, go skiing in the Alps.
Well, Mark, I was actually more interested in the marketing work you do while you're on the road, but speaking of marketing, can you tell me, are there any books that you've read that helped shape your approach to marketing?
Probably the book I enjoy the most is a book called Marketing Warfare. It's a book about how to be, you know, how to be a general of an army that is embodied by your marketing forces.
So tell me, how does your staff embody this militaristic approach to marketing?
They're kind of turf aware.
In fact, I understand this passionate sense of territory has actually resulted in some physical conflict between Bob Ford and Suzanne Bonset, your two product marketing specialists.
Yeah.
I hear that Bob Ford was actually left with a permanent limp after their last encounter. Can you tell us exactly what happened when these two marketing predators came to blows?
The two of them fought probably for an hour or two. And I just sat there and ate popcorn and enjoyed the entire show.
Well, that certainly sounds exciting, but now that you're co-publisher, you have to pay attention to a lot of things that don't involve marketing at all. For example, on the editorial front, how do you see the Cobb Group dealing with this exploding multimedia market?
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
Well, okay, let's deal with an issue with which I'm sure you've had to become familiar since you've become a co-publisher. Now, I understand that since your company was acquired by Ziff, there's been a lot of talk about OCF, or operating cash flow. Can you explain to us exactly what that means and how you calculate OCF?
Golly.
Gee, I guess that is a tough question for somebody as new to your job as you are. We could skip it if you'd like.
This isn't coming off very well.
Well, Mark, tell me this. Can you just give me a yes or no answer to this one question? Do you feel comfortable in your role as a co-publisher?
If that answer yes or no, I'd say I'm red.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Mark, but I'd like to ask you one more question. If Doug Cobb were to leave this company suddenly, do you feel like there's anyone who could take his place?
Me.
We had originally planned on interviewing Douglas Cobb and Tom Cunningham together to get their insights on what it's like to manage a successful growing company as a team. However, we found that there was no time over the next 6 months when both of them would actually be in the office on the same day. Doug, you're the genius behind a wildly successful multi-million-dollar company. But it was only a few short years ago that you were struggling to cobble this operation together and keep it afloat on a shoestring. Now, in the course of all that work, you wore a lot of different hats. You were publisher, creative director, and even an author. Now, I'd like to ask you, what do you remember most about the time you spent down in the trenches working as an author?
I liked doing it, actually. I just was always kind of feeling frustrated because I wasn't very good. I wasn't very successful.
Are you telling us that, as an author, you felt completely inept?
That's pretty much the definition of being bad.
Then, does this lend credence to those rumors that most of the books that had your name on them were actually written by other people?
Oh, no question.
Well, then, who actually wrote all those books and journal articles that were credited to you?
My brother, Steve.
Now that you've handed off responsibility of your company's divisions to your corps of publishers and divisional managers, just what is it that you do with your time now that you're president and CEO?
It's an excellent question.
Well, Doug, can you at least tell us what types of things are occupying most of your time now as you're in the process of shaping your new identity as CEO in the company's new structure?
Well, I guess there's three. I like playing basketball, I like flying, and I like fishing. And I try to combine two of the three of those things whenever I can. Flying, fishing, and basketball.
I know that you and Tom have recently turned bottom line responsibility for the largest part of your business, that being the computer support division, over to John Piles and Mark Crane. Now that you've had a few months to see them perform as co-publishers, what's your impression of John's and Mark's performance?
I think they are. I think they're smart enough to know how things really work, but they have so little character that they lie to people to get what they want. Which is to continue to be in power, and I think that's reprehensible. It's hypocritical.
But tell me, do you think that Mark and John have people on their own staff who are capable of standing up to them without wilting under their oppressive management style?
Well, two that come to mind at the same time: Linda Boffman, and Joe Pierce. And Joe comes to mind because I know he hates them so much.
I'd like to ask you one last question to sort of summarize this entire look we've taken at your company. Tell me this. With all the changes, growth, and constant turmoil your company seems to be enduring, how do you feel about the future of the Cobb Group?
It has to do with hand signals.
You're about to enter a dimension of creativity and litigation, a place where nothing is free. Ideas are proprietary, and where copying someone else's look and feel can cost you millions. There's a signpost up ahead, your next stop, the copyright zone.
Mr. Pierce, we're so pleased you agreed to join us in Boston to consider our proposal. And after speaking with you, I can tell that you're clearly qualified for this position. In fact, I'm convinced you're the person for the job. It's yours, if you want it.
Well, thank you, Miss Itke, but the truth is I've thought about it, and IDG just doesn't offer me the same opportunities that my current position does. I'm sorry, but I can't accept your offer, and that's final.
I thought you might be hard to persuade, but we're very interested in you. Just tell us what it'll take to get you here.
Sorry, like I said, my Cobb Group days are here to stay. Sorry, Tom, my Cobb Group days are over, and that's final.
What causes a man who has it all to want more? Why is everything suddenly not enough? Case in point, one Joseph R. Pierce, who at the mere age of 28 has attained the position of editorial director at the world's #1 publisher of computer newsletters. However, overcome by greed, Joe has betrayed his benevolent employer and taken a job with a third-rate competitor, best known as a publisher of books for dummies. But Joseph Pierce is about to learn that the law of the jungle shows no mercy for those who put their loyalty up for sale in the copyright zone.
Joe, this really sucks. I mean, weren't you having any fun? After all these years, I can't believe you're leaving us.
It's not the money, if that's what you mean.
Hey, I'd understand if it was. I mean, the Cobb Group's been pretty good to me. Jenny and I have had to add on to our garage. It's been so good.
All right, maybe it was the money.
That's what I thought.
Maybe it was the fact that they made me vice president.
They made you vice president?
Well, it was partly the Mercedes, too.
They gave you a Mercedes?
No. The Mercedes was for my wife, Jo. They bought me a Lamborghini.
And what did they get Connor? A new set of big wheels?
No, actually, Connor got a BMW.
Joe, Connor's only 2.
Yeah, I know, but maybe when he grows up, his taste will mature.
All right, I can see that you've really sold out. But let me tell you one thing. If you steal any Cobb Group secrets, Joe, I'm going to have your ass.
Why, sure, you're threatening, Cottingham. I'll probably be back in a few months after IDG buys this company after we've cleaned your clock, and I'll be your new boss. But don't worry, Tom. The Cobb Group secrets are safe with me. Miss Edgar, I've got some great ideas for you.
Well, hey, Tom, it's good to see you. You know, it's kind of amazing, Tim. I've only been gone a couple of months, and you guys are getting your butts kicked. What the heck is going on?
I know. I'm really pissed off.
Well, I tell you, those guys up at IDG are making you look like dummies.
Screw you.
What I want to know is, how has Joe Pierce pulled this off? I mean, I know he's stolen some of the secrets that he took with him from the Cobb Group, but how did he manage to get you kicked out of all the Microsoft boxes?
I don't know how he's done it. I mean, I've let Crane go, and it's still going on. But I've got a few tricks up my own sleeve for young Mr. Pierce. Don't worry. Hey, I've got to catch a plane.
Yeah, and I got to get to the tackle store and buy a new fishing rod. So long.
Congratulations, Joe. You've more than delivered on your promise to thoroughly kick the Cobb Group's butt.
Well, thanks, Miss Edgar, but I can't take all the credit.
Now, don't be silly, Joe. I hardly did a thing.
I wasn't talking about you.
You weren't?
No, I meant the folks back in the Cobb Group.
I don't know what you're talking about. All the publications you've launched for us have been your original ideas. I mean, it was your idea to launch that series of Tips and Techniques newsletters. The 123 Users periodical, Into Microsoft Access, The Works Perfectionist, and the readers have loved your Open Throttle Flight Simulator magazine and your desktop publishing journal, The Paragraph. I don't know why you'd want to share credit for these great products with those yokels down there at the Cobb Group.
Well, let's just say that I learned a lot in my 6 years down there.
Well, I'd say you're being overly generous, Joe. But you can't give away credit for your master stroke. When you showed those Cobb Group entertainment videos to Bill Gates, it got him so pissed off he kicked them right out of the box. I don't know how you did it, but I just wish I'd been there to see the look on his face when you told him what a fool they'd been making him out to be. I mean, I guess the joke is really on the Cobb Group now. Excuse me, got a call. Yes? This is she. Who's calling? Uh-huh. What? Oh, my God, I don't believe it. Oh, no. You've got to be kidding. Right now?
Who was that? What's going on?
That was our legal department. Ziff Legal just contacted them. Apparently, some of your original ideas weren't so original after all. Ziff Davis has filed suit. And our lawyers have already conceded defeat because apparently we have no case. There's been a settlement, and in order to keep us all out of prison, IDG has surrendered ownership of the entire newsletter division to Ziff. Our new boss is on the way up right now.
Who is it?
Oh, my God.
Mr. Pierce, Miss Edgar. Let's not screw around, folks. Miss Edgar, I've got some great plans for you in the new division. Not. And Mr. Pierce, all is forgiven. I've set up some interviews for your new career in the food service industry. Congratulations.
Joseph Pierce has learned the hard way that while imitation may be the sincerest form of flattery, it can also be the quickest route to the unemployment line. Because what goes around comes around, and eventually it comes for you in the copyright zone.